I've improved since I got the bike. Do I feel like a skilled rider? No. But I'm better than I was when I first got it. So the time has come for me to face the fear just a little bit. Well, hi guys, Lance here from the Rocky Mountain Life channel. Doing something that I have avoided doing for about 4 years. Riding Captain Jacks right here on the edge of Colorado Springs. Now, why I've avoided it for so long, there's a couple of things. One, turns into a single track. I guess technically that's what it is, but it's a pretty wide, heavily used single track, of course. But because it is on the edge of town, there's a ton of hikers and mountain bikers, and I mean, it's just always crowded.
I'm being too timid, so you might want to go first.
Well, I'm right there with you, my friend. So, I've never really wanted to come up here and dodge everybody. However, today is Wednesday. Nobody's in the parking lot. Should be better. Oh, rocks. So I've avoided it in part because it's crowded. I've avoided it in part because as you get further up, there's a lot of exposure. And I'm a beginner-ish type of rider. And I have visions of falling off the mountain and either injuring myself or getting stuck to where I'll never get my bike out. Now, do I really think it'll happen? No. Ouch. But it does make me nervous. I love being in the mountains, but I dislike, like this to my right here. If I go off of that, and I go more than about 5 feet down the edge, I'm never going to get the bike out. Without a helicopter or something. I suppose that's not true. Somebody with a long enough come along could probably pull it out, but geesh, just as soon not. And because my balance isn't, you know, I'm a beginner type of rider, more entry-level skill set, I don't trust myself to stay on these little trails. But I've been riding this bike now for 4 years. Next month will be 4 years. We're just a few days before Halloween. And so I've improved since I got the bike. Do I feel like a skilled rider? No. But I'm better than I was when I first got it. So the time has come for me to face the fear just a little bit. Get out here and do it. I mentioned earlier that it's usually crowded out here. Well, there was nobody else in the parking lot when we got here, so if we have other people, it's mountain bikers or walkers, hikers, which I don't mind. A lot of times they mind us. We're noisy, but some people just feel like motorized vehicles don't belong on this kind of stuff. But I promise we're legal here. I don't know where I'm going. So yeah, I'm trying to face my nervousness a little bit. I've seen enough videos of this place to know there's exposure in places. It's a beautiful morning though for late October. It was cool this morning when I left the house, but not freezing. But it's still, there's no wind. Sun's out. It's going to be about 65, 66 today in town. It's going to be beautiful. I actually rode from the house today. Yeah, I took my dual sport through town. I really don't like doing that. I don't like riding in the city. I don't like riding in traffic. It makes me nervous. But bike's legal, certainly capable of it. And this is so close to home. It's only 20 miles from my house. So I thought, you know what, I'd rather than go through all the labor and hassle of loading it in the truck for a short trip, you know, and then unload it and all that stuff. I thought I'll just ride it. Should have enough gas. We're not going to go all the way up because I know the top half of this is harder. I don't really feel like wrestling my 500 through that. Plus Steve's on a bit of a time crunch today. Actually both of us are. I need to get back semi-early today, so this is going to be a morning ride. Probably do the lower half of Jack's, which is what we're doing. Slowly. Another one of those mornings where my alarm rang earlier than I normally would get up on my day off. See, look at this exposure here. That's what I'm talking about. If you go off of that, it may not injure you a whole lot. I mean, it depends how fast and how far you fall, but getting the bike out is going to be another story. But anyway, my day off, woke up earlier than I normally would on a day off. And, you know, the bed's the perfect temperature and everything feels nice and cozy. And you're like, why am I getting up? Why am I doing this right now? But then once I get out and start riding, then I remember why. Lots of mountain bike tracks. This would be a fun mountain bike trail. I want to make sure Steve's okay behind me. Neither one of us are super confident in our abilities on this stuff, so I want to make sure he's okay. Yep, there he is. I can definitely hear him. Oh. Oh. One thing that Steve and I were just talking about as we were stopped for a little break is it's one thing to climb up this, but we got to go back down it here in a little bit too. So we're just trying to gauge just how brave we want to feel. Boy, it's dark in here in the trees on this side of the mountain before the sun's up on it. It's a beautiful place though. I mean, that's one of the reasons I have kind of wanted to try and ride it. Ouch. Is it's in a beautiful area. And it's a beautiful trail to be on. It's just a little bit more challenging. Not so much from the terrain, like it's too bumpy or too rocky or whatever, but it's this exposure, the drop-offs on the side that makes me nervous. Oh, it's hard for me to call myself a beginner because that makes it sound like it's my first ever bike. You know, I've only been at it for a year or whatever, but I've been at it longer than that. But I feel like my skills are close to a beginner, you know, and I don't feel like I've advanced to the point where I call myself an intermediate rider yet. Just below intermediate, that's what I would guess at. I don't know. Can't really call myself a newbie either, because that kind of has the same connotation. I'm new to this. I'm really not. I just don't get to do it as often as I'd like. Never had any training, and I just ride. And I've just kind of figured out as much as I can along the way, which feels like it isn't very much. Still don't know where to put my weight usually, and just kind of try and do my best to stay balanced, keep my weight over the pegs. Oh, he's right behind me. It's at times like this, when I'm going really slow in first gear, that I wish I had an electric dirt bike. Lighter, easier to maneuver, less tippy, lower center of gravity with that battery being slung low instead of a full gas tank perched up high. I had really planned on having a second bike by now, but the inflation of our economy in this country the last 4 years has put an end to that. There's not going to be any second bike anytime soon. Food budget's doubled. Car insurance is up over $100 a month over what it used to be. Hey, look, this is the end of the lower section, I believe. I believe this spot here where I'm parked is the sort of gap between the lower half and the top half. He wanted to go up and see where this next part goes. From what I understand, having never been here, is the top half of Capt Jack's is a lot harder. So after some discussion with a couple of hikers, we are going to turn around and go back. Mostly due to time constraints. One hiker that spent a lot of time up here figures the next section of Buckhorn, they call it, would be perfectly doable for us. We're not sure, having never done it, and we may try it maybe next year, but because of Steve's time limitations, and frankly mine too to a certain extent, we're just not sure how much we want to bite off. So we're going to reverse what we did coming up. So you guys have already seen me climb this. I don't necessarily think I'll show you the way down. It'll make the video too long. But as always, guys, thanks for coming along. Get out and have your own adventures of some sort. But I appreciate you tagging along, guys, as always. And I will see you next time.